right. We might be live. I'm sure we'll get some notifications in a second.
We might be giants.
All right. I forgot to do that last time. Luckily, both our camera feeds were really good, so I'm going to just do the auto edit. Yeah, auto edit on
Yeah.
Riverside. So that'll save time, save me 4 hours or so. Especially with the four screen and all the audio tracks and everything. So
I hear you, brother.
I hear you. I just got to edit out one profane.
Just one. It's right up top. It's
Right
right
up
up top
top. It
during the
was easy.
synopsis.
It was easy.
So one profanity.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready when you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Brady.
Let me pronounce these things ahead of time. Cullen Crawford and Bob Suarez. Is that correct?
I guess so. Sounds right to
All
me.
right. Hello, Trek Explorers, and welcome back to Trek Exploration. I'm Albie.
And we've been transported to NPR land, where my name in NPR land is Christopher DeFilippis.
Christopher DeFilippis. Yes, we're doing Sunrise with Chris and Albie, Sunrise Star Trek. It's very early in the day for us, at least for me. I think Christopher's halfway through his day.
I think that you're going to force me to put on my slow and serious radio voice from when I was in journalism school.
Today we're talking about Upper Decks, the episode of Lower Decks that's called Upper Decks, Season 5, Episode 8.
Welcome to Between the Lines. I'm Christopher DeFilippis. Today on Between the Lines. Oh, wait a minute. Muscle memory just took over. I'm sorry. Between the Lines was the afternoon show that I hosted when I was in journalism school at the radio station. I loved radio so much
I did too.
that the track at our school, I went to the University of Missouri Columbia Journalism School, which is supposed to be the best in the country. So I went there not because it's the best in the country, but because I got in and I could afford it. And part of the broadcast sequence at the journalism school was doing the local NPR affiliate, which was KBIA, and the local NBC affiliate, which was KOMU. So you went to the radio station first, you learned how to do audio and radio reporting, and then for the next semester or the next year, you went to the television station and you put on the local newscast every night. It was the NBC local affiliate. And I got to the TV station and I worked there for about a semester, maybe even over like the course of a mid-semester break, because I was there to graduate. So I was there over Christmas break and stuff. And I said, can I go back to the radio station? I really love it there. And they said, Chris, no one has ever asked that before, but if you want to, sure. And that's what I did. So I wound up just doing the radio stuff as much as I could because I loved the whole audio experience. And lo and behold, now making $1 million a year podcasting. So that's the moral of that story.
Well,
so there's something
$2 million
to be said.
between
$2
the
million
both of
a year. Well, we're making $2 million
Yeah.
a year. I net the one. We do
Yeah.
have to split it.
We do have to split it. If the IRS is listening, it's $37 a month. I came up with the morning show bit when we were going to go live at 3, but I woke up a little later than I expected, as usual. So
It reminds me of that SNL sketch with the sweaty balls.
sweaty balls. That's still popular. They just did a commercial for something with the sweaty balls people. I forget what it is, but I've seen it a few times. I think they run it during Saturday Night Live because that's the only time I watch commercials because it's live.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it's funny. They had Church Lady start off the last show, I think.
Dana
So-
Carvey's still alive. Good for him.
Yeah, he's doing good. He does a great Joe Biden. If you get a chance to watch that, it's like spot on and hilarious. Much better than his Herbert Walker.
Could it be Satan?
Satan. You
That's
know what the
hilarious.
sad part was?
was the sad
I think
part?
the audience watching the opening bit of Church Lady. What is it? Church chat. With
Yeah,
the
I think it was
church lady or
Church
something?
Chat. Yeah.
I think they were all in their 20s and they don't know their history, so they were so confused. And
I
all
love
the
how-
hmm?
I love how a dumb Dana Carvey bit from an SNL from season 20 years ago is our history.
Yeah. But if you're gonna go see Saturday Night Live, you should have watched the 50 seasons, right? But
No,
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just because it's been on my whole life, and I've seen most of it, if not all of it. And like all the things that he says as church lady that are like used to make the audience roar with laughter, people are just like confused and sitting on their hands, and I
It's like
just felt bad.
crickets, right?
Yeah, and you could tell Dana knew about maybe a minute in. You have to keep going,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, that's
So
hilarious. Poor Dana Carvey.
yeah, but I mean, he did great. Everybody did great. It was just the audience was dead for it. So
Gotcha.
it's art, and you need to understand art to appreciate art. I think like that. But it was
So,
good.
speaking of art, today, what are we talking
Art.
about today? What
We
art
are
are we
talking
examining
about.
this morning?
We are talking about this morning. We are talking about lower decks. What's the one before the penultimate?
The penultimate.
The penultimate episode of Lower Decks called Upper Decks, Season 5, Episode 8, original air date December 5th, 2024, written by Cullen Crawford and directed by Bob Suarez.
Suarez, maybe.
Suarez. Christopher DeFilippis.
That's
Could
me.
you please, for us and the listening audience at home, read the episode recap?
Episode recap by me. The Cerritos is apparently parked in an asteroid field, and the Core 4 and Lynn are having a pumpkin carving, say that 5 times fast, having a pumpkin carving party where Mariner regales everyone with tales of her recent away mission, where she got trapped in a painting. She and Boimler reflect on the fact that most adventures on other ships happen to the command crew, but that the Cerritos would be a pretty boring place without the lower deckers. Cut to the morning briefing of the command crew. There has been an increase in chatter from an insectoid race called the Clickets. Ta'ana is told to brush up on her pain management skills. Ransom has to greet with a visiting Federation scientist to study the Bagoon, the bug-like creatures on the surrounding asteroids. Shax has a meltdown and runs out of the meeting. Thus follows a day in the life of the Cerritos senior staff. Freeman's time is consumed with crew relations, including sousaphone concerts, a fertility ritual, and a one-man poetry slam. Ransom's simple assignment goes awry as bickering Beta and Delta shift lower deckers usher an infestation of Bagoon onto the shuttle deck. Shax is consumed by PTSD and his inner demons from his bloody battles during the Kardashian occupation of Bajor. Billups has to prevent disaster in engineering, and Anna has a stupid thing about feeling pain or something. But just when this crazy day couldn't seem to get any worse, there is a ship-wide invasion of Clickets. Oh no, what's gonna happen this time for the first time on Upper Decks, I guess, today. So those are very colorful glasses, Doc.
Thank you. I'm trying to do a thing.
Do I notice any color in your hair? Did you get trapped in a painting?
First of all, I had to get all that red off. I was editing last night and I passed out editing. Kind of just my editing station in my bedroom, 'cause I have two, is right next to my bed. So I kind of just roll into it when I when I'm missing parts of what I'm editing. And I woke up this morning and my first thought was I had stigmata.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
no.
was.
If anybody doesn't know what that is, look it up. It's very freaky and religious.
But yeah, there was red paint everywhere, so I immediately jumped in the shower. But today I'm rocking the Scott Bakula's White Streak
Oh, very nice. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. So you were caught in a quantum leap painting.
because I
Yeah.
had
Oh,
the
it's bringing
Enterprise, so I figured I'd go with
lower.
a theme.
I'm Long Island representing. So.
Ooh, Long Island, Long Island. They got the best iced tea and the amazing steaks, and I really want to thank Alexa for that steak.
Thank you, Alexa.
Well, this was an amazing episode, very intense. So much stuff going on. It's hard to keep track of, but I think that's part of the joke of the episode, and I appreciated it. It's a little bit overwhelming, but it gives us a lot to talk about. What do you think, Christopher DeFilippis?
First impressions. I mean, I guess it was fine. In as far as I care about the command crew at all, this was a fine sort of day in the life deal. It was a different type of Lower Decks episode, and they try to do a few of those every season. It seems to me they're doing more different stuff this season. They're swinging for different fences, and I admire that about it. So we got a lot to talk about, though. So, but before we continue on that tangent, should we tell people how they can reach us and tell us what they think? Yes, you're muted for some reason. Yoo-hoo.
Indeed, it's important for people to know how to get a tote bag or a mug.
We're gonna put ourselves to sleep with this shtick. Anyway, you can find us on patreon.com/Trexploration. That's where we have our main hub of discussion. You don't have to be a paying member to join us there. Just go over and see what our membership tiers are, or join for free and get in on all the action. You can also find us on Instagram at TrexplorationPod. You can email us at TrexplorationPod@gmail.com. You can call us on the phone at 707 847 6682. You can find us on Twitch. 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 I'm twitching. You can go to our website. It's trexploration.com. Or you can always send this stuff to the P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. As a matter of fact, I pulled something out of the P.O. Box today, but I think it was for the Quantum Leap podcast because it was from our friend Stacy over at TV Talk.
That's the person who
TV
said
time.
they sent you something. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought Willard was sending something as well.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I don't know if I should open Stacy's on this show or if I should open it on the Quantum Leap podcast.
Are you going to be on the Quantum Leap holiday show
When is that?
this coming week? This week sometime? We're trying to
Alright.
figure it out now in the other chat.
All right, I'll try to figure it out, and then I'll come if if it's on when I
Yeah.
can. I'll open
Then
it.
you can
then.
open it up.
I also want to do another special show over there because we never read my original fiction.
Yes, we can
For
make
the
that
month
part
of
of it.
Matt,
A
so-
fireside authors reading.
Yeah, or maybe just do its
the
own
holiday.
little thing if it's going to be too much. I don't know. Anyway,
Can you just
you can
set
tell
it
me.
at Christmas time? I know the story, so it doesn't have to be a specific month of the year, right?
No.
Well, yeah, it does. August,
Yeah, I believe
something like
it's-
that.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be around.
Okay, never mind.
No, it could be Christmas.
The Christmas tree left up from last year.
Sam is born in August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that,
want to
could-
say,
it
according to a
very,
holographic
very
license.
conceivably be a Christmas visit. I could probably
Okay.
work that in.
Okay.
Hey, look who it is! It's Roll for Chiraco.
Roll
He's
for
joining us
Chiraco.
live.
Also
Oh.
known as, or AKA, Ruffalo Taco.
Taco, Ruffalo Taco.
He says, are Albie and Chris dubbing their voices?
"This is what I sound like in my real life when I'm not on mic as a wacky podcaster."
Do I sound different in real life than on mic? Because I noticed you said something about cartoons sound different.
Yeah, no, you sound like you.
Okay.
Do I sound like me?
Yeah.
I think I sound like me, but more so in real life.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit more Bronxy.
In real life, you had the accent going on.
I can't help it in real life.
You have to stick a microphone in front of you to lose the accent.
Yes, I do. We've had this discussion, but it's always fun to have. So we have to thank our intrepid, our existing crew of intrepid Trek explorers. Those include our cadet, Listen Linda, our lieutenant commander, Scott Seligman and Cosplay Dad, and our captain on the bridge, Captain Charles from
Captain
Texas.
Charles.
Captain Charles. We don't salute in Starfleet, but still.
No?
Kapla.
What do we do?
I don't know. You just kind of, kapla.
Kapla?
This is the Klingon salute, right? Or was that the
Klingon.
Romulan salute?
Uh,
That was Klingon.
that's Clinton.
Is
I
there a
thought that's
Romulan
Mirror
salute?
Universe. Mirror Universe?
Maybe they do it in Inner Universe too. Maybe this
Yeah.
is just a generic salute. For
What's
the future.
Klingon?
I swear to God, it's that one. No, it's
I say we refer to
Fine.
Captain Charles and let him tell us what he wants
okay.
us to do.
Defer to Captain Charles.
But I am paying my respects to our captain.
Yes, yes. Double high sign for Captain Charles. And we also want to thank our lifetime member, the omnipotent Willard, part of
The
our
omnipotent
Q
Willard.
Continuum. If you want to be part of the Q Continuum, contact Albie. He'll tell you how to do that. So,
Yep.
And thank you to all the people who are following us on Patreon for free as well, our fans over there. So
Much appreciated.
YouTube.com/AtterExploration as well. If you're listening on the podcast feed,
Mm-hmm.
you can find us on the YouTube. You can see our smiling faces. So, and comment there. There's a
Yes.
whole comment thing right down below.
And you free patrons, also free members, send us your addresses as well, because I ordered a big box of whatever the heck I'm sending out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've only gotten a few rounded up so far. So if you're listening and you haven't done it yet, and you're not a member of the Patreon community, go on over there, sign up, and also send us your address. Of course, that will be confidential.
Yes.
And your information. And Albie has some plans for the holiday season. So
Yes. So definitely, if you're a paying member, send us your address if we don't already have it. But all members.
100%. And thank you
Yes.
for everybody who follows us and
Yes, we
who
really appreciate you.
is joining us over there. We do
It's very
appreciate you.
important that we have these conversations.
So,
I have to say, the fact that Shax found his inner peace so he could kick some ass was hilarious.
I didn't even think of that. I have to say, of all the storylines, that was the most screwed up, darkest one. When you think of a comedy show, especially like sort of a madcap, it's a mad world, day in the
Love
life
that one. Have it on
vibe.
Laserdisc.
Yeah, I really don't know that this would have fit in. I mean, it's so freaking dark, man. It's crazy stuff. So, I mean, where do we want to go? Do we want to talk about Freeman's Day? Do we want to talk about
We
Shax's
got a
Day?
lot to talk about, so
Yeah.
let's
So,
get through this because I know you got to make dinner and I have a little bit of running around to do.
all right. So let's go Shax. Let's go Shack
Yeah,
Attack.
Shax. Let's just start there because I think we'll work our way up to Cat Scratch Fever.
Oh boy, maybe we want to get that out of the way first. So Shack Attack. Funny thing. I know I keep tangenting.
Love tangents. That's
I
what this
wish
is all
that
about.
this had been open while you were visiting me, but it closed down. We used to have a burger place called the Burger Shack, right? So you go to the Burger Shack on your birthday. Well, I did anyway. This was always on the menu, but every year on my birthday, I'd go to the Burger Shack and I would get what they called the Shack Attack.
Shack
And
Attack.
it was basically a bacon cheeseburger sandwiched between two grilled cheese sandwiches. And
I've made that.
it was so freaking good. And you think like you'd be able to eat half of it and be like, bleh. But
But
they went down so easy. They went. I would have ordered another one if I didn't care about living till my next birthday.
kind of like me. It's funny for such a. I'm trying to find the right word for such a fit individual. You can eat a sandwich, man. When we went to Cat's Deli, your sandwich was as big as mine, and you finished that off no problem. And I was shocked. I was like, "What do you just eat once a week? How do you do that and stay ripped like you are? Like
Yeah.
you
First
have
of all,
abs."
I'm nowhere near ripped. But
I saw your abs while I was there.
yeah, me or you were dreaming. You were dreaming. Were you
Could have been.
sleepwalking? Were you sleepwalking?
Uh, if you slept walk, you'd end up on the top of the Empire State Building.
No, I think that for whatever reason, as a kid, I ate a lot, and I was kind of a fat little kid until I hit puberty, and then I kind of sprung up, and I remained, somewhat slim.
Yeah.
I've gained weight here and there, but like right now, I'm at my heaviest in many years. But anyway,
Wow.
here's how Bruce Banner's secret is that he's always angry and then he hulks out. I can eat everything on the table all the time, like I'm never full. I mean, there are some times when I'm just like, yeah, I can't look at anything anymore, like on
Me too.
Thanksgiving or something. But that's after 4 hours of constant eating. But if there's a pizza on the table, I could eat the whole thing.
Me
I
too.
just could.
I ordered two pizzas because I'm going to eat a whole one.
Yeah, but I don't. I can, but I don't.
You have willpower.
No,
When
not
it
when it
comes
comes
to
to
food.
when it comes to food. Yes, when it comes to
Right.
martinis, no. So
We all
let's-
have our weakness.
Yeah, let's just put it in context. There are things that if I have more than one, I probably you don't you don't want to tempt me with those. But with
Food is the only thing.
I've learned
that
how
I
to
can't
walk away
control.
from food. I've learned how to walk
Yes.
away from it. So
I only can with appetite suppressants. So lately it's been a struggle. So I need to do that.
well, listen, there's new stuff on the market all the time, and
Yeah,
I've known people
$1,000 a month with insurance though.
with yeah, it is pretty
Yeah,
expensive.
so
Yeah.
hopefully when there's a generic out, maybe.
Go to a compounding pharmacy. They can probably make you the key ingredients.
Yeah, I
that-
saw a report on that where they tested them, and only like a third of them actually had anything in it real. So
Hey, anyway,
Anyway,
or order
my
one pizza.
glutide
You
talk.
can start by ordering one pizza.
one pizza, but then I have to share it with other people,
Yeah, That's the whole
Or-
idea.
or people would just be really upset with me because I ate the whole pizza. Did we get a delivery? No, I'm just be in my room for about half hour.
You're Jane. I'll be in my bunk.
I'll be in my bunk. Food for me is the same type of brain response, so I think that's my problem. So
Yeah. No, I hear you.
yeah, so Shax attacks.
Yeah, Shack Attack. Shack Attack. That's where we were.
Yeah, the Cardassians.
I would love to see you know how it's such a vast Star Trek universe now.
Mm.
Wouldn't it be amazing to see like the young Kira Chronicles and
Mm.
maybe have Shax as a character, like a real life Shax,
Oh,
and
wow.
do like a show set during the Bajoran occupation of the Cardassian
I would watch
occupation
that.
of Bajor, right? Like a nitty gritty. I know my friend Rick is probably hearing this now, saying no, but I think that that would be an amazing. Now that I'm seeing this, that would be sort of like Call of Duty, but Star Trek. I think it would be pretty cool.
Oh, my mind immediately went to Battlestar Galactica reimagined
Okay, that too.
type.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing. There's so many places you can go with Star Trek. They just usually pick the wrong places lately.
Ruffalo Taco wants to know how he can send his address.
All right.
Anybody listening, what you can do is you can join the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Trexploration. Even as a
Mhm.
free member, when you
Mhm.
are entering your information, you can enter an address,
Mhm.
and that will stay confidential. And once
Yes.
we have it on the Patreon site, we'll always have it. And then if we ever
Yeah.
do any other mailings or whatever, depending on for members
Mhm.
or for paying members or for all tiers, whatever, we'll always have it. So that is a good rule of thumb. It is the easiest way
Yes.
because emails are going to get lost. Texts are going to get lost. Any direct messages on any social media is going to get lost. But the Patreon is a one size fits all site where
Mhm.
I can see everything amassed in one place.
Mhm.
All right. So
If you
that's how you
want,
do it.
if you want your holiday thing in February, send a self-addressed envelope to our PO box,
Okay. Yeah. And then I have to send it to Albie.
and then I'll send it out. So it'll take a
Right.
while.
And we also have to tell you what kind of postage we need on it.
Yes. Um, the image of the snake coming out of Shax, that was scary. It reminded me of one of the scariest things as a kid. I think it was the snake coming out of the mouth in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when they were down in the tomb, right? Yeah.
Freaked me out. Hate snakes. I
I
share
hate him,
that with
Jack.
I share that with Indiana Jones.
Um,
Rename the dog Indiana.
Do you think the snake was supposed to represent like the inner Cardassian, I have met the enemy and he is me kind of deal? You know,
I'll
like
take that.
you become what you fear most or what you hate most.
Cardassians are very snake-like.
Yeah. So I mean, they're
Yeah,
the snakes and the foxes. Gonna go Wheel of Time here, but the
yeah.
Alphen and the Alphen.
His demons are him. I thought it would be something to do with how he died and came back, and we'd see that. And I don't know if this was that or not, or was it from like earlier in his life. But the Cardassians said die Starfleet, so I'm thinking I don't know if that
Did he
places it
say?
in time, which
No, I
confused me because he's Bajoran, but of course he's wearing a
Oh, but you
Starfleet
know what?
uniform.
But he, at that point, he was probably conflating his PTSD delusions with the Clickets that were invading the ship. So when
Oh,
they
so
were
they might have
saying
said
"die,
that.
die, Starfleet," he was seeing them as the Cardassians that he was piling up in that pit.
Hmm.
So
What I loved especially about this episode was that any of these changing storylines and changing between characters and this fast cut, fast pace, so many storylines are squeezing in. Any one of them would have been like a next gen A story or B story, and we would just get the two. But I think we got like six or seven. I can't even count.
yeah, yeah, we'll go down by in character order, I guess.
Mm.
But that's one thing I like about this, and I guess maybe because, and this might be a strength of the fact that they don't spend a lot of time with the upper deckers, with the bridge crew.
Mhm.
So you don't really need to have fleshed out scenes. You just need to have action, 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 because we don't really know these characters anyway. So it's not like we need deep introspective conference room scenes or Deanna, saying, but how do you feel? Or you just need to know, oh, stuff's going down.
Mhm.
So this is how they react to stuff going down.
And
That's the way I look at it.
it seemed like they were saying it's like a day in the life on the Cerritos, and then just the lower decks have no clue what's going on, which was again great.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just Mariner who has no clue what's going on.
Yeah, don't shatter my worldview or something. She says. I
Exactly.
love that there is now a Halloween episode of Star Trek besides Cat
Yeah.
Claw.
The
That was
thing is,
kind of
this aired
spooky.
December 5th. Like, why are they doing a hell? But
I'm guessing that the schedule they thought they were had was rescheduled.
I
So
think it's why the same reason why the Frasier reboot always ends with a Christmas episode, even though it's airing in September or something by the time it's done. or October. So,
But this Serenity and I agreed that we are going to add this episode to our Halloween watching ritual.
it's like
Halloween
35
movies.
seconds at the top of the episode.
It counts, damn it. It's all we have. It's
Can I
all we
ask you a
have as Star
question?
Trek fans.
I
Yes.
mean, you have now like you have stuff that you have to watch on Halloween. You have stuff that you have to watch on Thanksgiving. You have stuff that you have to watch on Christmas. When are you going to run out of hours in the day? Like you got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to like, say hi to your mom maybe. You got to
Tradition.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's from Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh.
Part of holidays is having traditions, and one of our traditions is watching holiday movies, holiday TV specials.
Yeah, and I think that's wonderful, but that's that you have a finite amount of holiday time.
It does add up, and it gets
Yeah.
stressful sometimes
Yeah,
because I think
uh-huh.
this year we added to our holiday schedule lesbian Christmas movies
Okay.
as a category. Yeah, so there it's a subgenre, and I think the newest one I watched that was pretty good. Oh, there was two.
It's
Trying to
my
think of the
favorite
name.
subgenre on X videos.
But these are sweet Christmas movies. What was that one called?
So are
I
the X
forget,
videos.
but it just came out. It just came out. Oh, we got a B. I don't
Hey,
know
B.
who's the B in apartment
Hey, we're glad BR.
D.
B
Oh,
Arthur?
BR. B.
B
Arthur.
B Arthur.
B. Arthur.
Brr.
But the one that surprised me, I guess it's included in that genre. It depends how you look at it. Is It's a Wonderful Knife. Besides all the murder, it's a very cute Christmas movie.
Okay.
So I would recommend that one.
Gotcha. So here's what I recommend as you go on.
Mm-hmm.
And Rennie's just going to get older, and you're going to have more because she is so inquisitive and so exploratory. She's going to have more and more and more interests that she wants to sate. Maybe you can make. I remember Matt showed me how to do this. There's like a website where you can put choices, and then you make like a spinning wheel, like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and then you can just zip it around and then you can decide which one you're going to go to, and then maybe you can build your holiday viewing in the finite slots that you have based on all of your interests. Say, okay, this year this is what came up, and this is what came up, and this is what came up, and then you fill in the time, and then the stress is relieved. Like you don't have to do every single one, but you just leave it up to the spirit of Christmas.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea because you don't want to lose ones you've watched every year. So, but maybe this
Well,
is a
there could
more
be
fair
ones
way to
that
do it.
are like sacrosanct, right? So you block
Yeah,
those
It's a
out.
Wonderful Life,
Of
A
course.
Christmas Story,
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, the Grinch.
Yeah, here and there, and it's only 20 minutes though, so we can make time for that. The cartoon one, I wouldn't watch the
No, the
live
Jim
action
Carrey
ones
one.
again.
Forget about
I mean,
it.
they're okay. I think I just bought it in 3D, maybe.
Here's another suggestion.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, like there's what, 2 movies? So maybe you could start some of the Christmas stuff early.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I think Thanksgiving we have to watch, of course, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles,
That I know.
and a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and I think Turkey Run or Turkey something with CG animated turkeys. We watch that every year.
Okay.
I'm not doing good this early morning with movie titles.
By the way, it's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, everybody. I'm going, okay, we got another 25, 35 minutes before I have to go down and start making dinner.
Omnipotent Willard said, I added It's a Wonderful Knife to my schedule last year. That's good. And Ruffalo Taco says, It's a Lesbian Christmas Charlie Brown.
That one's starring Peppermint Patty. Of
Yeah,
course.
Peppermint
the
Patty, right?
Patty and
I've had
Lucy.
many questions
Oh, no,
about
it's Peppermint
Peppermint
and
Patty.
Marcy. It's the Peppermint Patty and Marcy Christmas special.
Yeah, and I always wondered, because one of them is like non-binary and the other's a lesbian or something, and I always thought it was very advanced for 1960s animation on television.
I never saw Marcy as non-binary. I think that she.
I might have them reversed.
I think Peppermint Patty's certainly a lesbian. I think Marcy is attracted to both Charlie Brown, Charles, and to Peppermint Patty. I
Okay.
think that.
So
Yeah.
maybe she's pansexual.
And
But
maybe she
again-
sees Peppermint Patty as non-binary because she calls her sir.
Sir, yeah, it's very confusing.
Wow.
But
who
very,
knew?
very, very advanced for the time. So maybe I'll have to add that to the lesbian Christmas movie list.
I cannot wait to write the episode description for this one.
There's one on Netflix with Kristen Stewart, really good. But the newest one I watched came out like December 5th, I want to say. And we watched it right away, and it was cute. It was like a small budget independent. I wish I knew the title. I'll put it in the description.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, so Shack Attack, and somehow we got onto Lesbian Christmas.
Burgers. I had a burger salad for breakfast.
Well, that's good. I'm making chicken cutlets for dinner.
Send me some.
We'll do. We'll do.
Us on the Mayflower. Yep. Wow, I can't even keep up with the comments.
Yeah,
Let's hit those
when you
for a
start talking
second.
about lesbian Christmas stories, forget about it.
Omnipotent
internet
Willard says
blows
that's
up.
what I do. I have a list of where I watch the ones that calls to me that year. A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story. Okay, I'll show that again because
Christmas Story, Christmases are what? Yeah, Christmas Story and A Christmas Story Christmas are watched every year on Christmas. What is it? Christmas? Is that
Part
the
two,
musical?
the real
Oh,
part
it's the
two,
new one. The new
the real
one?
part two
with
with
grown
Peter
up Ralphie?
Billingsley. Yeah,
Yeah,
part two. It's only watched that once. The other
Yeah,
part two.
I saw the trailer for it, and I said it's a nice idea, but I think I just saw everything that might be good about the movie, possibly.
Yeah,
So,
like it'd be good as a live play because all the characters are different actors, but it just doesn't have that same.
well, let me tell you something regarding a Christmas Story. Did I tell you
Yeah.
this? I mean,
What?
Christmas is coming, so it's good to have this chat.
Mhm.
I saw a Christmas Story in the theater with my brother.
Wow.
We were just, for whatever reason, we decided to go to a movie. There was a dollar movie theater in Ronkonkoma, right up the road from where we grew up. And
Love those.
it was an OTB then after a while, and I think they knocked it down. I think there's a Panera there now. But
Mm.
we went to that dollar movie theater. I saw like a lot of James Bond movies there, and my brother said, "You want to go?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What's playing?" He said, "Something called A Christmas Story." Like there was no commercials for A Christmas Story, nothing. So
Perfect
we went,
title.
we went and we saw it. It was the most phenomenal movie we'd ever seen. We loved it, and like no one has ever heard of it. And then all of a sudden now I can't watch it anymore because 24 hours of A Christmas Story on TNT and TBS. It's just like I'm burned out on it.
Well, you don't watch all 24 hours.
Yeah, but again, and I even have the source material. I bought all the Gene Shepard books. There's one book in particular that pulls for A Christmas Story, but I bought all his books because I think he's a fantastic writer, really funny.
I have the radio programs where he told the story originally.
Oh wow, you got to
Yeah.
send me those,
Okay.
please. That would
Yes,
be amazing because
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that he was also like this booming liberal loony on local radio here in New York, like late night local radio. And I've never heard any of his stuff. I'd love to hear it. you
That
know.
voice is great. Did
Yeah.
we talk about me and taking Rennie to see that live this year?
We haven't talked about it on mic, but I know that you went to. I don't think we spoke about it on mic
Yeah, I
anyway.
took her down. It was a surprise for I think the night before Thanksgiving is when I took her, because that's when I could get front row center tickets. Probably because a lot of people are at with their family or preparing for Thanksgiving. But it was a surprise because she really loves the Christmas Story musical that was on I think Fox TV live.
Weren't those all NBC? I thought NBC
Might have
did
been
all
NBC.
those.
It was Matthew Broderick was in it though, and it was really good. And she just watched the heck out of that, and I bought it for her on Blu-ray so she could like watch it more. And so when I saw these tickets come up on my feed, like the algorithm actually spies on me in a good way. Sometimes it works out. So it suggested these tickets. So we went. It was like the really nice part of Naples, South Naples, and beautiful town square. I'd never been to that part before.
I've actually been there. That is a beautiful
Really?
little community.
Isn't it? It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
That when me and Rennie were there, we were like, Chris would love this. It's bougie.
Yeah, actually, I remember there was this old girl called Chico's there, and Laura got a pair of shoes in that store.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
but because it was right. It was the closest place from Marco Island where my in-laws, my dear departed in-laws, where they used to go during the winter. So it was, yeah, and it was just a way to get off that freaking island. But anyway,
Well, we make fun of you because you only go into restaurants that have ropes and bouncers out front.
and so
We try to avoid those just because money.
You notice I'm not denying it, but
No,
and
but
so-
and we always go when we went past them that night. She was like, "Oh, Chris would eat there."
but did you guys enjoy the live version of
We
that?
had a great time. Everyone was so wonderful, and Serenity got to meet the woman who played the mother afterwards, and Yeah, got a picture with her, and it was just a great time, and it was a good story. I was very confused. I think this is what brought it up. I was very confused at the beginning because it showed the Statue of Liberty, and I'm thinking the Statue of Liberty, they got something really wrong because I think this takes place in Chicago, right?
It's a Christmas Story. It's Indiana.
Indiana. It's not New York, though,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's like
So I was
yeah.
like, they really messed up, or what's going on, or did I forget that part, or alternate timeline? So actually, the musical, live musical, starts off with Gene Shepard on the radio in New York City, telling the stories of his
Okay.
youth. So that's why they had the New York background, and then
Gotcha.
it transitioned to Indiana. Did you say?
Yeah, Holman, Indiana, I think is
Okay,
where
that
he
sounds
grew
about
up, and
right.
that's
But
where it
yeah,
took
it
place.
was a
Yeah,
great show. I can't believe these kids are like 7, 8 years old, and they're the star of the show,
but they're
and they pull it
theater
off.
kids.
Yeah. Yep. So it was great. It was cast of maybe 40 people. I was shocked, but it was good. It's Naples, so everything's going to be good.
Yeah, I gotta say, my uncle enjoys the opera down there and the theater down there, and he's the one whose opera tickets I now have. Like they've been passed down in the family, so
Huh.
he knows performances, and he says that the caliber of the performances down in Florida are equal to what he saw in New York.
Wow. Yeah.
So
And they
yeah,
just opened this.
maybe not the productions. The productions might be a little smaller, but the caliber of the performers is, you know,
They just opened a brand new theater there, and it's gorgeous. I think it's open this year, 2024, in the summer, maybe if I read everything right. But it's gorgeous and beautiful and huge. Like you got to go like this to see the nosebleeds. So
groovy. All
yeah,
right.
great
So
thing. So
where
let's
were we?
let's get cat scratch fever out of the way.
Cat
She
scratch
says
fever.
rearrange my insides. Doesn't that mean something else? I've heard that before.
Oh, wait. Are we going back to X videos? I'm confused. You have to. No, you're really. Now. I'm at sea.
Okay. Well, we'll talk later off mic. I want to
You'll
keep
tell me
this
when I'm older.
at least rated YouTube 12-year-old. So if you don't know, you don't know.
But I thought that was the stupidest thing. But again, is this a Chris problem or was that really freaking dumb? You know, I don't like Tana as a character, and I think that they're going out of their way to make the character as unlikable as possible. And now this was just dumb. Like this was. I mean, this. What kind of Starfleet protocol would allow a junior officer to mangle a senior officer just because she ordered it? And I know it's lower decks, and I know it's a joke, and I know it's funny, but this is the same episode where you have Shax with such severe PTSD that he can't function, and he's got to go and meditate and astrally project to fight his demons. And now you have someone saying, inflict pain on me on purpose. And who is this? Is this a lieutenant that's doing it? This assistant that we've
Uh,
never seen before?
I wrote down his name. Is it on your list or my name?
I wrote it. I put it down here. I know I wrote it. I wrote it here.
Westlake. Westlake.
Westlake. Yeah. Who is
Yes.
he?
I've seen him a few times before. I thought he was like a Sulu-esque character. So
I don't know.
I don't know, or George Takei rather, character. And I like him every once in a while, but I've seen him pop up here and there if my memory's right, unless I just watched this episode too many times. But they're always cutting him off like mid sentence.
All right.
Like he thinks he's the star of the show, but the show doesn't care about him, and I think that's the running gag with him.
I see. I see.
So I think this was the first time we've seen this much from him.
Icy wiener.
Pizza
got that.
delivery, January 31st, 1999, New York City. Icy wiener. I made that prank phone call. It was
Very
me.
nice. Very nice. And look, you spawned an entire industry.
I did.
I think that I'm trying to figure out. I guess maybe it was so that they could bring everything together at the end. You know, that's classic sitcom writing
Yeah,
right there.
Seinfeld
All the
was very
disparate
big at that.
storylines all of a
Yep.
sudden weaving together at the end. So
Perfectly,
okay.
Seinfeld did
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I admit that they did that well, and the Ta'ana thing, but it feels like it was just a way to get her to kick ass at the end. Like it didn't make a lot of sense. That was the only one that seemed engineered for the purpose of just resolving the story.
You got to admit though, for like taking those 5 or 6 storylines and intertwining them perfectly, they did that.
And yeah, that's another thing I really loved. I mean, so maybe I guess do you want to say anything more about Ta'ana?
Hot soup that was funny. It was chowder and it was yellow, so I'm thinking corn chowder. You would know chowders because you're from the Northeast.
Yellow chowder is usually like a corn chowder.
Okay, that was my only question, but yeah, I love the wrap up at the end where that went together. The only other thing I have to say about that was the phaser was set to kill,
Hmm.
but out of sheer willpower,
Yeah.
she didn't let it happen. So I think
She's
all these people that are like being vaporized from the kill setting are just weak.
Are you okay? That's right. Yeah, it's kind of like Festivus. I need my
And like
glasses.
that's
You're
yeah,
just
you're
weak.
just weak. That's why my mind went there. Yes, absolutely.
Maybe. All right. You listen. I mean, that's sitcom. That's sitcom logic
That's her
right there.
favorite holiday. That's her favorite
Yeah,
holiday. And of course, we
Festivus. Right.
watch the strike on Festivus, and I make the meatloaf with peas and spaghetti and cabbage.
I don't know what that is, but okay. Is
That's
that
the meal they
best?
eat on the Festivus episode, The Strike of Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. I don't recall that.
Okay,
I
tradition, man.
just remember the poll.
Tradition, tradition.
So what I liked about this too is they made a lot of the tropes, not tropes, but what you would expect to see
Mhm.
in like a normal Star Trek episode where it does focus on the upper deckers. They did have a featured midshipman or lower decker as an instrumental part of the story, which is what you would have gotten, I think. Like think of Ensign, what's her name that spills the hot chocolate on
Like
poor
you
Horror.
did to Ensign Lynch.
Poor Ensign Lynch, right there.
Oh yes, I know her name. I've said it a million times. Give me 2 minutes. No,
Martinez,
Gomez. Was it?
Morticia,
No,
Fester, Pugsley.
Pugsley. It was definitely Pugsley.
All right.
Something. Sonia Gomez.
Thing,
Sonia Gomez. I did it right.
thing.
Sonia Gomez.
Yeah, Sonia Gomez.
Yes,
Yes.
I love her. I wanted her to come back again and again, but she didn't.
But that to
But
me
that's
was
why you don't have the liquids or food in those areas in engineering.
yeah, we learned the hard way during
Yeah.
the last one. What was it called?
Fully dilated.
Yeah, fully dilated. But the character that they had, it's funny that they gave her the disease that both de-evolved and evolved her, and she's playing the sousaphone.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that. I think that character's name was Meredith, so that was Charlotte Nicotto. So
I want to say
Meredith would have been
Meredith.
like one of the
Meredith.
featured guest stars or something. You know?
Meredith. I want to say was the engineering cadet that was with the Australian accent.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I don't know what the name of the other one was. The only
Anyway,
reason I know that is I was infatuated with her in this episode, the Australian one.
we have such good show prep here. To me, I thought she sounded like Christina Chong. I thought it might have been Christina Chong playing another character.
Let's see. What's other? Maybe I'll read it and know. Barnes.
Barnes. It was
Yes.
Barnes.
Jessica McKenna as Barnes.
Yeah, it was
She
Officer
really pulled off
Barnes.
the unibrow voice, I think.
But it's funny because if you want to talk a little bit about Freeman's Day, the fact that on the Enterprise D you would have the conceit that you would see a lot of different artistic things going on, like recitals with Data or poetry or whatever it was. There always
Hmm.
seemed to be time for like high art and culture.
Hmm.
And I was listening to, I think it just today, a podcast called Imaginary Worlds, which has been on for like 10 years. And he was talking about, and I think he was interviewing Ron Moore, but they were talking
B or
about
D?
Ronald D.
Okay.
D. Moore, yeah, Kirk Killer, Ronald Moore.
Mhm.
And he said the one thing about Star Trek that always, so it, not only was it a science fiction show, but you had like the science, but also art was always an integral part of their daily life. So it wasn't just about the science and the science fiction, but there was
Mm.
always like Shakespeare and recitals and art and music. And it was just as integral, right down to Will playing his trombone badly. But that was, that's part of the society. So it was nice to carry that trope
Nightbird.
on, right?
Nightbird.
Don't quit your day job. That's my guy. That's my Mignot. Mignot, is that her name? What was her name?
Minuet.
Minuet. Yeah, he was with the trio with Minuet.
Yep.
Mignot was Lisa's dog on Green Acres. Yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry about that. Yeah.
Green Acres is a
One of
place
the,
to be.
when we're done with this, we're doing a Green Acres
Farm
podcast.
living. is
Green
a
Acres
life
is maybe the
forming.
greatest show ever made.
One of the best, yeah. Definitely a fish out of water,
Yeah.
humorous thing.
Just the absurdist humor in that alone. You could write dissertations on what went on that show.
Yeah, it was great. And you watch it, maybe future generations or current generations, which is my future generations, watching that they wouldn't get it. I think they tune out quickly. But
No,
I
I think
enjoy it.
it's so absurdist that it'll last. It's timeless. It's like
Okay.
Airplane. It's just so
Ah,
ridiculous that it's timeless.
and don't call me Shirley. I have
Yes,
a
exactly.
question.
Yeah, what's your
That
question?
the phaser through the tuba looked
Uh-huh.
familiar. What is that from? Was that Spaceballs or something? I've seen it somewhere.
I'm thinking Doctor Strange. In the Marvel movies, when they shoot stuff at them, they can create the portal. So they open the portal where it comes through, and then it comes back at them at the same time. At the beginning of the second Avengers, not Ultron, but the good one, Endgame.
Again, I just bought those 3D. Haven't watched them.
Okay,
But
that's
I watched them originally in the theater, but haven't watched them again. But no, it's definitely a woodwind instrument that I saw it
oh, okay,
before. But I like the little joke where I thought I saw fire for a second.
right.
And I think the best joke you got to admit in the whole episode was to Anna's, where she said a futuristic, devolved
Right. She could, yeah.
that could read minds but was afraid of fire. So what did you do? I thought of a candle. The best thing ever, right
All
there.
right.
I thought of a
concede.
candle.
I concede. I concede.
Yeah. Laughed out loud. It was just perfect setup and delivery.
Yeah. So
I
I know
thought of a candle.
we have some people in the live chat.
Okay, let's see. I'm
Where
nipping
we've been
forward.
using? Where did they use brass instruments to
Yeah.
deflect phaser fire?
I'm Nippin Willard. I look like Peter Billingsley at that age. Hated the movie when it came out, but it grew on me over the years. And
Now
now,
it's his
I
favorite
gotta
Christmas
change that
Day
to
movie.
20
It's
seconds.
just one
Yep.
day.
Yeah, I watch it every Christmas, like on Christmas. And if you watch it before Christmas, I think that's wrong.
Okay. You know what we tend to watch every year is Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
That's-
that's a definite.
that's one of
That's
our
a Christmas
favorites,
day also. I think we go Christmas Story and then Christmas Vacation to finish out the night. And usually most people are passed out before the end song.
Christmas Vacation. Now we can't
Christmas
monetize. I'm sorry.
Vacation. No, it's good. Those glasses look like an incredibly uncomfortable epileptic nightmare, yet stylish. Thank you, BR. B. Arthur. And he also loves, or they also love B. Arthur.
I'm confused now because now I'm thinking about. I know what you're talking about, and I can see it in my mind's eye too, but I cannot place it with the deflecting
I'll have to
some
go
kind of
down a
phaser fire or whatever with.
Reddit thread somewhere. But it's a
Yeah.
comedy thing. So, Spaceballs, right?
I don't
Red
know.
Dwarf? I don't think I saw it in Red Dwarf.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. Like I
Doctor
said,
Who?
someone
No.
listening will figure it
It's
out.
too
They didn't
humorous
have
for Doctor
phasers
Who.
in Doctor Who.
No. Sometimes.
Anyway.
Okay, what other storylines were there?
Oh, Billups and his
Billups.
adventure in engineering, his very big adventure, and your episode Crush, if I'm going to guess correctly.
Yes, which was Meredith. I tried to find her full name, but all I could get reading the closed captioning was Meredith, Ensign Meredith. I don't know if that's her first name or last name. I'm guessing since they reference first names only in a crisis, that is her first name.
Yeah.
But I think you mentioned X videos before, but that's definitely a search term I use is Australian.
Oh wow.
I have a thing for Australian women. Like if I'm accidentally immortal and I outlive everyone I know and have like another life in the future, same life, just living longer, but you got to move around or people know you're immortal and they'll slice you up and stuff. You know how it goes.
Yeah. I've been pulling it off for centuries. Okay?
Exactly. Well, join me then. I'm eventually that way going to move to Australia just because it's like a reverse Love Actually, where the guy with the British accent moves to the United States so he can get the ladies. I would move to Australia because most of the ladies there would have the Australian accent.
Gotcha. Well, you don't need to be immortal to move to Australia. Just saying.
I've painted myself into a corner that I like.
Okay. Anyway, I mean,
That's what happens when
eventually, obligations will be fulfilled. People will be adults, and you will have greater freedom of movement. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not that type of person.
Yeah,
I stick close
you
with
might
my
become
family.
that type of person.
Maybe, or maybe
Yeah.
I can take my family with me. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never
never
know.
know.
So, anyway, so what did you think of the Billups thing? I thought that of all of it, that was kind of the cutest of the storylines, just because engineering is so jury rigged by all of his quick fixes.
Or is it?
Right?
Or is it? I have theories.
What are your theories? You think he does it on purpose?
On purpose to every single ensign that comes up to him with any problem whatsoever. And I think that was the payoff at the end of the story when the other ensign came up.
I see. So you think that that's his command style, much like the unconventional command style of Ransom.
Yes, I think he has a reset button underneath one of his panels or something. And, after Ensign Meredith walked away and the new kid came along and he said, let's do this, I think he just reset everything and he's going to go through all that again just as part of like the training for the new engineers.
I guess,
And
yeah.
that's where he gets his kicks.
And how else do you get that love of engineering to the point where you can die like every engineer wants to at work in a tube?
Everyone dies, but only engineers get a chance to live.
Right, right. Oh my goodness.
But it's crazy because that stuff's happening on TNG all the time, and we're watching Geordi deal with it. But on Lower Decks, we're focused on Lower Decks, and they're just like lazily walking down the hall talking, and all this stuff is going on while they have no clue.
blueberry pie eating contests.
Yes, he ate a bagel, and it made his tummy hurt.
Yeah, maybe he's got wheat gluten allergies.
Some kind of gluten allergy, or maybe he just doesn't, eat that much, because those are heavy sometimes.
Could be, could be.
Man, the Ranger glucose 400 points. You know that? A bagel. Just a bagel.
It's bread. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
So the question I have, the Ransom storyline, why I could not place the alien that he was supposed to be observing the bug creatures, the cows.
I didn't know any of the three. I didn't know the.
I was wondering if it was like a Voyager.
It looked like a Voyager. If I had to guess what character was that show was in, it would be a Voyager thing.
Gotcha.
And,
Not the character, but what type of alien?
Alien, yeah. And the Clickets I had never heard of before because I think I'd remember that because it sounded like crickets, and they look like crickets.
So do you think so? Anybody that's still watching live
In the space time.
Hey, Susie Q. I don't know who
Susie
Susie Q
Q
is, but she must have shifted to an alternate reality. We're getting viewers.
Yeah.
On,
Susie Q says a daytime show. I must have shifted to an alternate reality. Yes, this is Star Trek Sunshine.
This is
with
Star Trek early morning.
Christopher
start your day
DeFilippis and Albert.
with a nice cup of coffee.
Yes.
And yes. So
Welcome,
I thank you for
Susie Q.
Susie Q. Welcome, welcome. I think we've heard from Susie Q before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
know
it's
her.
just been
I know
it's
who
been
she
a while.
is.
It's been a while, but
She's
yeah,
a valued friend.
Oh, good. So
Yes.
it's nice to have friends. It's nice to be nice to the nice.
Mm-hmm.
Name the show. Scott Madison already has.
Okay, I'll
Probably
think
Rick.
about that one.
Probably Rick too. So thank you, Susie Q, for joining us here on our daytime stream. It's the first of, I'm hoping, an increasing number of actual daylight hour shows that we get to do, so that I'm not exhausted for work. And Linda's, everybody's taking you to task, man.
Well, it started at the end of daytime, but as I look out my porthole,
Yeah.
it looks like the sun may have set. So I
Yeah, the
missed
sun
my walk
has
for
set,
today.
but it's 11:30 at night after a 10-hour day at work.
Yeah, it's not early in the morning like we usually go.
Right.
So we were talking about
plus, Stacy, I know it's you. I was making. And I got your package in the PO box, Stacy. You have to let me know if that's a Trexploration thing or if that's a QLP thing.
Listen, Linda says Albie must have gotten out of bed early today. Yes, that's why we're doing the morning show.
So, and I'm trying to make it seem like we have more viewers than we do. Shut up.
And more importantly, it's Saturday, I believe, if I read my phone right.
Yes.
So normally Christopher isn't available to go till at least 8:30, 9:30, depending on the night, right?
Oh yeah, the night I get home from work I get off work at 7, sometimes 7:15, and then
Yeah.
I get home, say 7:40 or whatever, if I don't have to pick up dinner or I have to make dinner, and then I got to walk Penelope. So
You get to walk Penelope.
I get to walk Penelope, and then by the time all is said and done, it's like 9:30. So.
She says Susie Q says it's Christmas presents.
Oh yeah, so just to enlighten everybody, we got a box in the post office box today, which is my favorite thing on a Saturday. I got a box from the post office box. There are no locks, some post office box, some post office box. Yeah, it said to Quantum Leap podcast, but I recognized your name, of course, and I just didn't know if Stacy meant that for QLP or for Trexploration. So anyway, I guess we'll save it for QLP.
Okay.
Yes,
QLP Christmas.
you still count as a viewer. Thank you, Stacy.
But by doing that, you have to make sure you make the QLP Christmas party.
Yeah, so don't have it at 2:30 a.m. on
I
a
think
Wednesday.
for Dave to come, it has to be earlier in the daytime because he makes the donuts.
Yeah,
So, and there's a couple other farmers. I think Brian might be a farmer.
right. Or just a normal human being
Normal human being,
that
yeah.
lives by daylight hours. There's that. So not that you're not normal.
Secretly, I'm amused that no one understands me. If you know the reference, you know the reference. So
I don't know the reference, and I rarely understand
you. You would only know if you were like me.
So I am very glad that I amuse you constantly.
You do. Okay, Billups is in a tube. That's the way all engineers want to go. In engineering, fixing a crisis in a tube.
In a tube, yeah.
I like when you edit in a tube.
I'm thinking Harry Shearer that's who plays Billups, right? Is it Harry Shearer?
Oh, I don't think so. I think I would have known that. Who plays Billups?
Billups is, I know it's a Simpsons, Paul Scheer. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Harry Shearer.
Yeah.
I was conflating Harry Shearer with Paul Scheer because I'm thinking this doesn't sound like anybody I know from The Simpsons. Why doesn't? But then I think of Jerry O'Connell. I know his voice, and Ransom sounds nothing like Jerry O'Connell to me. So
I think Jerry O'Connell did one of the beta shift or delta shifts. Suzy Q says, "Why don't you go ahead and open the box, but not the things inside?"
Ooh, well, the box is downstairs, so if I'm going to do that, we
Oh.
can do it during later tonight's show when we cover
All right,
Fissure Quest.
Fissure Quest. I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm hoping it surprises us.
Yeah. I wonder what that one's about. But just to, I guess,
Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar.
He played Alonzo Freeman, but he does many other voices.
Yeah,
I think he's in every week.
on Mad TV for a long time too.
And
So
he
I know
does
him from Mad
great
TV.
voices. Yeah, me too. I can picture him right now. He does great voices and great characters. So I'm glad that they have him on.
Yeah, it's funny. Will Sasso has shown up again in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage for fans of young children.
I need to watch that. Me and Rennie go back and forth picking series. Like I picked Friends, so she picks next. So we're either doing Young Sheldon or Big Bang, but she doesn't know which order for us to watch it in.
Despite them centering on the same character at different points in his life, they are two completely different types of show.
So either one.
Yeah, I think she would like the sci-fi nerdiness much more.
She
Big
watched
Bang.
both, but she wants to rewatch it with me.
Young Sheldon is it's a single camera show, and it's much more of like a family comedy with real heart. Big Bang is just laughs, LAFFS laughs.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah, it's some great voice work. The other funniest joke, there was a bunch of them, but when Meredith when Billups says that axe is only for emergencies, and then Meredith says, "What do you consider an emergency?" Because he's dying in a tube.
So I
think it's his own mini Kobayashi Maru. I really do.
Okay, so you think he's putting the kids through their paces, right?
Yeah.
So.
Although he is mentioning things like my mother was here, so I don't know why I did that. Either that or he's just a absent-minded professor type bad engineer that gets everything working, but like with bubble gum and paper.
Right.
clips.
Is he like the Quincy Magoo of engineering?
Yeah,
like
maybe
it just
he's
happens
like
to fall into
MacGyver
place
or
for
something.
him.
Yeah, something.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm so sad that we might not get to see more of these people.
Are you all impressed that I knew Mr. Magoo's first name, by the way?
What is Mr. Magoo's first name? I just went with it.
Quincy. And who voiced Mr. Magoo, talking about voice work?
Oh, I can do this. Don't ever turn over 40 because your brain slows down. Was it the guy who played Thurston Howell III?
It was. Do you know his name?
His name is Lovey's husband.
Yep, his name is Lovey's husband. It's Mr. Howell, Jim Backus.
Jim Backus, that's what it is. I remember being a kid and thinking I was smart because I knew Mr. Magoo was Jim Backus.
I remember being a kid thinking I was smart because I knew that Maynard G. Krebs was Gilligan.
Work! Work! Does anybody get these references? I think Gen's XYZ and Q all tuned out They're like, Maynard G. Krebs, I'm out of here.
I mean, the many loves of Dobie Gillis. It was one of
Dobie
the staples
Gillis!
of the when Nick at Night first came out. It was
You-
one of the staples.
I love Nick at Night. I always did until they started playing modern day shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say Car 54. Where are you? Was
Car
classic.
54, where are you? Fred Gwynn was in that, right?
Yes, Herman Munster.
Gwynn, yeah.
And
Herman
Joe E.
Munster.
Ross, who was like I've seen him in everything from vaudeville to like sleazy 70s movies, Joe E. Ross. He was just like one of those guys that just rolled out of bed and acted in anything he could get his hands on. And he was so bad. He was Tootie. Francis Muldoon was Fred Gwynn, and Joey Ross was Tootie, and he was the worst actor on the planet. Oh my god!
I think I watched the whole series at least twice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how little was on TV that I watched Car 54. Where are
Yeah,
you?
it's
But I heard it.
gonna come full circle here because there was one episode of Car 54 where they were trying to raise money to send the poor orphan kids to Lake Ronkonkoma for the summer, and Lake Ronkonkoma, Ronkonkoma was right around my house when I grew up, and that's where I saw A Christmas Story in Lake Ronkonkoma.
That is perfect. See, you're all tying it together at the end.
There we go. See, this is classic
perfect.
sitcom construction here.
The omnipotent Willard says the Clickets, the aliens that look over the ships,
Took over the
ships, were introduced in Lower Decks season 1, 8th episode of Lower Decks. So much like the crew, we did not remember them.
Completely forgot them. Yep.
They made no impression on us. I wonder if that was like a thing in the writer's room where they brought up the Clickets and everybody was like, who? And they were like, you wrote the episodes. I don't remember. Ruffalo Taco. I love Nick at Night. Car 54, Where Are You? Was one of my favorites. Yeah, Dobie Gillis. I knew I was up late if I was watching Dobie Gillis because I was like 9 and it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. It came on.
Those were on. Yeah, those were on really late.
Those were late. But I was like, it's Gilligan. That's what sucked me in.
Can you sing the Car 54 theme? Should we do a rendition right now?
I don't think it's in there anymore.
I can do it.
Okay, start me off and see.
There's a holdup in the Bronx. Brooklyn's broken mountain fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout who short a child. Khrushchev to it, Idlewild. Car 54, where are you? Idlewild
It started to unzip when you sang, but I didn't quite get it. But yeah,
Idlewild was JFK Airport until JFK. Well, it was Idlewild until JFK
Brooklyn
got
Heights.
assassinated. And and I still go to JFK anytime I have to fly because it's just the best.
Yeah, and because JFK.
Yep. So there you go. So yeah. So Car 54,
Where are you? So if both of us are accidentally immortal, we can eventually do the Car 54 Where Are You podcast.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll do it like a live musical show.
Ooh!
In
Can you imagine on the marquee outside, Car 54 Where Are You? Live, the musical. You and me would be in the audience.
I would be Muldoon. You would be Tootie.
Yeah, maybe Ruffalo Taco. So,
maybe Ruffalo Taco come and he'll do the backgrounds for us.
There you
he'll
go.
do all the
There
set
you
dressing.
go.
He'll be the prop guy.
There you go. Linda could direct.
Hilarious.
Great.
Hilarious. I love it.
So yeah, I like that little story. What other stories are there?
Of
course we have-
we never did Ransom. We never did Ransom and the cows and
Yeah, the space cows. What were those called? I kept writing it
The
down. and
Bagoon.
forgetting it.
The Bagoon.
Bagoon. So they were deaf, obviously, because they lived in space. So I think that was it. Natural cloaking.
Yeah.
Natural cloaking technology, organ. The Clickets wanted to harvest their cloaking organ and maybe eat their flesh, depending on taste and texture.
Yeah, it's about texture and flavor.
Texture and flavor, yeah.
Yes.
They didn't look edible to me, but you never know.
Yeah, well, I mean, most I think it's going to go this way too. Huge societies without a lot of like livestock like we have here. Insects are just part of the menu, man, because they're great protein and they breed like insects. So I got to think that the bagoons would be just as tasty.
Are they insects?
They look sort of insectoid.
I was
they have
thinking
shells.
Yeah, I was thinking some kind of not the possum. What's the other one? Armadillo kind of thing.
Armadillo. Yeah, I've never had an armadillo.
No, I don't eat anything but beef.
Can
and
you
chicken.
eat armadillo?
I don't know.
Somebody
Probably.
out there tell us. Somebody who lives out there in the Southwest, tell us if armadillo's on the menu.
Armadillo. Yeah,
I would try it. I'd try anything once.
I've seen them live here and there. They're cute. Possums see those a lot.
Going back to the beginning, I would probably eat every armadillo on the table, but
That's all you, my friend. They put creatures in our ears.
Those are SETI eels,
Made
not
us
SETI
do things,
armadillos.
say things. So it
Oh,
was Red Thomas, not Red Taylor. I got that wrong last show.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who's Red Thomas? Red Taylor? I don't remember.
Oh, the mayor of Hill Valley. Susie Q, Never Ending Jewelry Party, says, I was literally up all night when I was a kid watching Nick at Night until telemercials and exercise shows came on in the summer anyways. I was such a... I stayed up all night. What is that called? I forget.
Up All Night on USA Network was my
Yeah,
favorite
with
show on Friday and Saturday.
Rhonda Shear?
Rhonda Shear, Gilbert.
No,
well,
Insomniac. That's what I was looking for. But Up
yeah.
All Night is good.
Before that, it was called Night Flight.
Up All Night with Joe Bob Briggs, or was that after?
No, Joe Bob Briggs. He did
That was
driving stuff.
theater.
Yeah,
Driving
yeah.
theater. I would stay up and watch the infomercials. Amazing discoveries. That guy in the sweater, the Huxtable sweater.
Huh.
You can
Linda
eat armadillo with chicken tuna sandwiches.
Linda, where are you hailing from, Linda?
She's on the West Coast. That's all I know.
What the hell is chicken tuna? It's chicken or tuna?
Chicken tuna sandwiches. It's a callback to when we did the cage. That's so great.
Right, it is the cage. Yeah.
Linda had a callback.
I think Linda's making a cage joke, and I took it seriously. You wrote me right in, didn't you, Linda?
Yep. Linda's got some hidden talent there.
Linda and Tango were both laughing behind their hands.
That's a deep cut, Linda. I love it. So. Chicken tuna sandwiches.
Captain Pike's not amused.
Ron Popeil. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So I kind of saw it coming what Ransom was doing. I think that's because we get his inner monologue via his first officer's log.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's still cute and funny, and it kind of retcons his character a little bit. So he's like a doofus on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. And it's fine. I sort of like Ransom as comic relief, so I think it's fine if you want to give him a reason for being comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Linda's just sent like a face palm and
Is that an onk?
It looks like a female single.
Oh, might be. Yeah. Or male.
No, male is with
Female?
the arrow.
Oh, okay. So okay.
I don't know what that means. It means
She might be beyond us.
is she saying, "Oh girl,"
Oh, okay. I got you.
like "Oh boy"?
Yeah. So it kind of like retcons it a little bit, and which brought up Section 31, but we'll go with that later. But yeah, I think he's not an idiot. It's just his command style where either he wants to have the crew join together and be a common enemy against him, but not because he's a jerk, only because he's incompetent, which he's really not, or something else. What would that other?
It's all a trick for him to get them to work together because they realize they can't rely on him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which is good because if he's doing all the work, then they won't step up and be the officer he knows they can be.
yeah. So, I guess that's one to grow on.
Oh, I had a thought about last night's show. You mentioned the dual science officers, and they were only ensigns.
Yeah.
Harry Kim, he was an ensign the whole time. He was a bridge officer.
So was Travis Mayweather. He was a bridge officer.
Yeah, so it's possible.
Okay. So Harry and Travis. Kim gets the guff because the show was on longer. But Travis, they fast forwarded like 15 years in the future, and Travis is still like an ensign flying.
He's in a Christmas movie. My mom was watching that the other day when I was
Anthony
Montgomery.
Yeah.
And I look up and I was like, oh, I just saw him in Vegas. He's a great guy. He looks the same today as he did in 2000. It's crazy.
Yeah, his hair is just a little longer, right?
A little longer, but
Yeah.
I mean, he pulls it off. But yeah, it's cool that he's in a Christmas movie. So I definitely got to look that up and watch the whole one.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess we discussed all the stories.
Was
The
there other
Clicket thing was
stories?
just silly.
Carol Freeman.
Well, we talked
That's
about
the main.
that. Well,
Did we?
with the arts and
Did we miss anything? The We'll Always Have Paris thing? That was cute.
that was cute at the end.
Yeah, I kind of want to go there. Does that place exist? Like, if I went to Paris, I would be that nerd and try to find that place on the
You might have
terrace.
to travel to the 24th century. I don't know.
Oh, that's
Card,
true.
was,
It might
was
not be there
contemporary
yet.
of the card. Yeah.
It might not be there yet.
And they definitely won't have the guy with the dildo phone or whatever it is that they play.
I thought that was a cute callback. So you could see it coming as soon as they mentioned it, but it was cute. And it was for me, it helped me realize more about the holodeck. Like there's just like standard programs you can run.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
they,
Yeah, right.
and
But
that's the
Paris is
same.
Paris, right? You can always do a Paris,
Yeah, but
right?
it was the same table, and I think the same. They probably like
You know what? That brings up
sketched it over the frame.
an interesting idea
Hmm.
because Bashir always had his dude Felix making custom holodeck programs for him. So maybe there is just the run of the mill. Oh, I've seen this one. I've seen this one. I've seen this one. I got to get a custom made experience for myself, like a bespoke a holodeck
Right, something you
experience.
would do. Get it
Yeah.
custom made instead of ordering from IKEA. Could have been done a
Say
year and a
that
half
like I'm
ago.
an asshole.
You're not. You're not. You understand quality and you care. That's not a bad thing. That's a good trait, my friend.
Oh my goodness.
That means that you let me into your world, and that is a compliment to me.
Oh well, well, you're making me look good now. See, you are so manipulative. You are the slyest mofo in the room. Let me tell you.
So I had another thought about what we were
which,
talking about.
which was
Was how like Mariner is like a big fan of data, and they all know what the next gen crew is doing. You know how I sent you that AI podcast where you just like give them some
yeah,
text
yeah. That
data
was
and they
just
do a whole podcast?
yeah.
That's in the 21st century, early 21st century. 24th century, the ship's logs, just throw them into the holodeck and you can watch what happened. Maybe not accurate, but they can watch episodes of Star Trek like we do.
Wasn't that the series finale of Enterprise?
Yeah, spoilers ish.
Okay. Anyway.
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, that's how they're keeping track of everybody, and that's how people are famous.
Okay, and I guess you can be whoever you want. So you can be
Yeah.
chef. You can
So that
be
fully functional program, we know Mariner was in that bedroom.
yeah. You know it. You know
Yep.
it. So
So,
I feel like the holodeck is going to be you'll be able to have holosex with anybody you want to have holosex.
ah.
Just tell it to Leah Brahms.
Oh, so they invented something new that kind of looks like this. I just watched it on YouTube the other night. It actually sends electrical signals to your nervous system. So like, and it interacts with your like MetaQuest 3 goggles. So when you touch something, you actually feel what you're touching
Oh, that's cool.
in virtual reality. So we're getting there. They're trying
Okay.
to.
Wow. This is really low. Even though it's the earliest show we've ever done, this is the most after dark Trek
I'm
exploration
keeping
has
it
ever
clean.
gotten.
I said feel something. Your mind went somewhere. I was just talking about maybe a balloon or a flower, which
I
also
like how
can be
those are
interpreted in other
euphemisms for a
ways.
very,
They can
various
also be
things.
interpreted in different ways. But like, because like if I was at that tech display, I would have been like 2 questions, and they would have said, "Okay, but not about boobs or butts." I would be like, "No questions."
So, do you see how much more fun this show is when I'm awake?
It was rough getting out of bed at 2:30 p.m. I dragged myself out, but I'm
Yeah,
okay. But I'm okay.
yeah.
I think I'm waking up, so
Okay.
that's good.
All right. I think we got to wrap up. I got chicken
Yeah.
cutlets to fry up.
Oh, that's right. And I got to
Yeah.
run to the post office.
Yeah, you gotta
Send us
run.
your addresses.
Yes.
All
Post
right.
office is closed, by the way. It's
Before
6:30.
we do our cleanup and read our notes and see what we missed talking about and go on other tangents, what do we do next, Christopher DeFilippis?
We have to do the 47
Skip it.
episode crush.
Episode crush. Ensign Meredith, the
I'm taking
Australian.
47 off the rundown. Forget it.
I think
Forget
it's
it.
better to keep it on there and mention
Oh.
it every episode and not do it.
And then
I
just saying
think
it.
that's
Okay.
become our own running gag.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Okay. So episode crush, I know, is the one that sounded like Christina Chong to you.
Yeah. To me, yeah.
That was
Australian, so.
Charlotte Nicotto.
I wonder if she's Australian or a Kiwi. I don't know, but still, either way, I'm into it.
All right.
Who was your episode crush?
My episode crush was nobody. It's a cartoon.
I'll get you there eventually one day.
God help us all.
My runner up was that redhead that talked to Ransom at the end of the whole space cow in the ship thing.
Gotcha. My favorite part of the episode. What was your favorite part of the episode?
Oh my goodness. So many different things. I have to go with it wasn't the funniest, but the Shax storyline. I think they really did the character of Shax right in this episode, and I think we learned so much more about him and understand him more. So it's not just about Baby Bear and bravado. It's he's got literal demons that he's dealing with all the time, and the fact that he's able to do his job and do it well, and just not be in a mental institution. I appreciated that part of the story. What about you, Chris?
I like that part too. I think we're right on board with that together. I could see a whole series based on his character during the occupation. So it was a surprisingly deep part of otherwise very light episode.
Yeah, and they still had some jokes here and there. What was it? Oh, sorry, buddy. Something like that. I just thought that was cute.
Oh yeah, yeah. After he saw all the clickets
They
down
can
on the
lighten the
floor.
mood. Yeah. So what's
All right.
next, sir?
You
What's
have to
my
ask me
number?
some trivia because I asked you
Ooh.
last time. You got, I
All
believe,
right.
1.5 out of 3 last time.
We'll round it up and say 3.
Okay, that's the way that works. I'll be math.
I'll be math. All right. Look like welder. All right. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Okay. I don't know if I read this one yet. Oh, in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, whom does Dr. Leonard McCoy replace as the Enterprise Chief Medical Officer? I think we did.
I don't know. I don't think
we
so.
read that one. Let me look at the answers.
We did. I don't recall having read that one.
Okay, no, we haven't because I didn't know
Yeah.
that one. The third one. Okay, so I got you for 3 questions.
Okay, in
Three questions.
TMP, he replaced a medical officer.
In Star Trek: The Motion Picture, whom does Dr. Leonard McCoy replace as the Enterprise's Chief Medical Officer?
Wow.
I'll give you a hint. It starts with Doctor.
Thank you. Well, I know that he says Chapel's an MD now, but I don't think that Chapel was a son. But she was on the transporter when Sonak came through and melted.
So she must have been on the
So,
ship. So that.
I'm thinking maybe it was Christine.
Dr. Christine Chapel, you are correct, sir.
So Kirk,
One out of
not
one.
only did Kirk screw Decker out of captaincy, he
Screwed Chapel.
he got Sonak killed because he was intending on taking over the ship, and he needed a Vulcan by his side.
Racist.
Right? So Sonak's dead because of that. And now Chapel, who's an MD, gets boned and pushed aside because he needs Bones back. And he bones because he drafts Bones. Kirk
And he
is
didn't
a
wanna be
dick
there.
in the
He didn't
motion
wanna be
picture. And
there.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, number
Great
2,
show.
please.
Number 2, I got you for 3 questions. You got 1 out of 1 so far. Question number 2. What opportunity does Captain Picard provide to Ambassador Spock at the end of the Next Generation episode, Unification Part 2?
Beautiful, beautiful moment to read Sarek's thoughts.
Exactly. To mind meld with and share Sarek's memories.
Yes, yes.
Wow. That's
Very
nice.
nice. Very nice.
Okay. 2 out of 2. You're doing good. You're on a roll.
Doing
You're
well.
on a bagel. Okay. Question number 3, if for those planning to home play along with us. Which longtime Next Generation cast member made his directorial debut with the Deep Space Nine episode In the Cards?
Oh, jeez. Was that LeVar?
Not quite what this says. Maybe try again.
Okay. But it was a Next Gen cast member.
Yes, LeVar's directorial
And
debut.
In the Cards
I
is
think
one of my favorite episodes. That's when he gets the rookie card.
You
and
gotta
the
read the
self-sealing
credits.
stem bolts.
You got to read the credits as you're watching, but that spoils a lot of the episodes sometimes. I think LeVar's first episode, I want to say, was Next Gen, later season 6 or 7. Was it the one where his mom was on there, or was it the one with Aquiel? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Was it Michael Dorn? That makes more sense because he
Ding,
was
ding,
there.
ding! It was Michael
All
Dorn.
right, but I won't take because I already guessed LeVar. So
Okay.
so
But yeah,
2 out of 3.
Dorney was a director. I had no idea. Idea.
So there we go.
Very good. He
Yeah,
can
no,
do
that makes
anything.
much
He
more
could fly
sense because
jets.
he was on the staff at that point, so he was hanging
Yeah.
around the set anyway.
He was there. So what do we got? Gates, Dorn, Frakes, and LeVar. I think LeVar's done the most. I mean, no, Frakes probably.
All right, so Trek and Tell. What's your Trek and Tell?
Trek and Tell. So this happened about a year ago, and it was the funniest thing, I think, at the time. I walked in the room and I was like, "What are you doing? We're supposed to watch a movie or something. What you been doing?" She's just said, "I've just been watching a little TV," and she shows me this.
It's cute.
I've been watching a little TV. Let me see if I can start it up. It's got a remote. I just put batteries in it. Of course, I took my glasses off, so I'm just going to press every button. Oh, there we go.
Wait, yeah, I can't see it. I gotta maximize your screen. Oh, there's Scotty. How do they do that, man? That's really so cool that that's in there. That's fantastic. Sorry, neither. One of the best lines in all of Star Trek.
Yep.
Tranya.
But first, Tranya.
I need some Tranya. Okay, everybody that's listening on the podcast feed, Albie is holding up a teeny little novelty TV that looks like almost like an ornament. And on the screen is playing scenes from Star Trek: The Original Series. It's almost like it's like a mock cathode ray screen, like an old TV console
Yep.
TV that you'd see in a '70s living room, like when we first watched Star Trek. So
Is this an I'm Captain Kirk moment? What is this?
I think he's telling Scott, "Oh no, I'm thinking what a little girl's made of." Yeah, this is Enemy Within.
I'm Captain Kirk.
That's the greatest face ever.
I'm a doctor, not an escalator.
Oh, that's Friday's Child. All right, enough. All right,
Yeah,
we can
so
do
it
this
plays
for another half
about 20 clips.
hour. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think I got it at Walmart. It was like $15 or something whenever
That's
it came
cute.
out.
That's really cute.
Yeah, they have Friends, they have South Park, they have all different ones.
That's an ingenious little thing. It reminds me of my mom got me a Christmas ornament that's like a cathedral radio. Wow. Now we found the speaker. Linda wants one of those, so
That was Arena. If only I had Linda's address.
we do. We do.
I know, but we
She
said we'd
wants
only
that-
use it for holiday cards.
She wants to watch that as she's downing wine.
It's crazy. I need like 2 pairs of glasses, but just the fact that they can squeeze, that into so little.
Yeah,
I
it's
tried
crazy.
to hack one for a while. I got an extra one to try to hack it. I think an extra Jurassic Park one was on clearance or something. But yeah,
cool.
you can't reprogram the memory chip.
Gotcha. Just the
But they
fact
make
that there's
they make
video.
small ones you can put your own stuff on now.
Okay.
I was going to put like all of Star Trek on a little TV for no reason.
Because that's what you do.
Because that's what you do. One thing I did do when I was going down that rabbit hole was Rennie has a watch. She has an Apple Watch, but she also has like this novelty kids watch that I bought her that has like video and like a camera on it and stuff like that. So I busted it open. It had a micro SD card. I put like terabyte micro SD card in there, maybe 500 gigabyte. But I put every episode of all her favorite shows on her watch so she can watch them. And they're like a half-inch wide. Okay,
Neat.
what's your Trek and Tell?
I don't have one tonight. I
Okay.
showed mine last night.
Yeah, you
You
did.
got me. Okay, we'll do a rerun.
Okay.
We'll do a rerun for those.
For anyone that wasn't
For any that
here.
wasn't watching live, I got a Niners T-shirt from my good friend Albie and his lovely daughter Serenity.
Lovely daughter,
So
Serenity.
there we go.
Listen, Linda says, tiny wine for that tiny TV.
There we go. Tiny wine. Well,
So
gang,
that's my Trek and Tell. So that
I
goes
think
on my
that's a
shelf.
wonderful little trick and tell.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish I had like an insect field guide here. I have a butterfly guide somewhere.
Crickets.
Maybe we'll see some crickets in there. I don't know.
Crickets. Clickets. I wonder why they went with Clickets and not Crickets. Maybe I need to rewatch that episode they were in. I don't remember them. I honestly don't. Maybe that's part of their superpower, like that Doctor Who villain. When you walk away, you don't remember you've seen them.
Oh, you know, here I got it. It's not a trick and tell. Oh yeah, it's the silence, right?
Yeah, like they were on live TV during the moon landing, but nobody remembers because you can't remember them after you don't see them.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, I like it. You got to mark down on your arm.
Did they ruin them like they
With
ruined the
eyeliner?
Whispering Angels? Hey, so I talked about going to J school, like in the radio. So
Yes.
here, I just found that this is on my shelf. That it's in my pile of books to throw away.
Oh,
the Surgical
cool.
School of Journalism Alumni Directory, 1994.
You're throwing it
Let's-
away?
Let's see if I'm in there. De La Pena, Delaney,
Well, don't throw it away. Autograph it and send it to me.
Dean, DeBrant. Let's see if I'm even in here. Decker. There's a Decker.
William or what's the other one?
Here I am. DeFilippis, Christopher Francis,
Francis.
93, Bachelor of Journalism. I was the morning editor at the radio station. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. No, it says RT. At this point, I was the managing editor of the Catholic Press Association. I was at
Manager
that point.
editor of the Catholic.
That's
I never knew you
highway.
were a Catholic.
And it even has my first address when Laura and I got married. And
Well, you might not want to show that on camera because time travel.
yeah. But yeah,
They might
there we
hate
go.
this podcast so much that they go back. and
Nobody,
age you.
nobody in the family lives at that house anymore. But
Okay.
but there's my without the. Can you see it?
Oh wow,
It's
I love the
DeFilippis.
photo.
So there you go. There it is.
DeFilippis. Now I know how to spell it.
If anybody wants this, I'll be auctioning it off.
There you go.
Yeah, you tell me
Put it
how
on
much I have,
eBay.
you tell me how much I have to pay you.
No, there might be somebody that attended with you that's in there that would love to have another copy. So you should at least put it out there. Maybe not for the money, but just for sentimental reasons.
I love you for sentimental reasons.
Does the front of the book say "Stay cool"?
I hope you do
See you,
believe
see you
me.
next summer.
No,
Yeah,
I've
after
given
the summer.
you my
All right, let's play cleanup.
heart.
Read your notes.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
We
go.
gotta get dinner going.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
I'm looking at my notes.
I've already said everything I got to say about this one.
You have? Okay.
I'm up to final thoughts.
The rocks. We didn't mention the rocks. They explained why there's rocks in the ceiling and in the instrument
that's
panel.
right. Yeah, I
that's
even
a
wrote it
big
down.
deal.
The
That's a
Cordry, the
big
Cordry
deal.
rocks they call them. Now,
Cordry
who's
rocks.
Cordry? Who's Cordry?
That's why we got to reread our notes before we go.
Cordry. Who is Cordry?
No clue, but
Is it Roger? No, it's Roger Corby.
Roger Corby. But I think it's awesome that finally there's an in-universe reason why there's rocks everywhere when everything explodes.
I do
Because it
love it.
never made sense. I think the debris on the low-def television, you wouldn't know it was rocks, so they just went with rocks, foam rocks, but still. But
All right,
the
now
and the
I'm
fact
looking up
that
Cordry on my phone.
the fact that Billups was like explaining them to the captain and she didn't care and cut him off.
Right,
That's funny.
because to them it's old news.
Yeah. But I loved that part about the episode. Let's see. The KKK and next phase. Oh, they reference the next phase in the poetry reading with Roe and Geordie.
Yeah,
So that was
yep,
cool.
they did. Yep.
The AI defense golem, I thought that was funny because he picked
Yeah.
it up from the Binars. And she's like, what's an AI defense golem? And you gotta reboot it while you're telling it a sad story to prove you're human, which is just an extrapolation of what we got to do now. I got to find which one's the bicycle if I have my VPN on. Google doesn't like that. Let's see, and of course we saw Zoe Freeman.
Cordry apparently doesn't relate to anything.
Doesn't
anymore.
mean anything. Did you go down Reddit? Maybe
No,
we'll figure it out.
memory alpha.
Oh, Stevens was snoring during the poetry reading, and that was a callback to, I think,
Card
Schisms.
storing? Yeah.
I want to say Schisms, where Riker wasn't getting enough sleep because he kept getting abducted all the time, so he fell asleep in the poetry reading. So I like that. It was like shot for shot. Let's see. I think that's everything. Oh, and the Borgas had an ear tag at the end, so they tagged him and released him.
Okay.
Was this the first time we heard Billups' first name, or was that in the episode?
No,
when
I'm
he
sure
was
they
the
did
king?
it when he had the dragons and all that stuff.
All right.
Right.
And finally, the joke that Talen told at the end was cute.
Cute.
And the way she said, boom.
Boom. Mic drop.
Okay, final thoughts, Christopher DeFilippis, if you have no more.
A perfectly serviceable episode of characters I don't care about really on Upper Decks, but enjoyable nonetheless. And I do like the way everything came together at the end. Even though they're not characters that I want to revisit week after week after week as primary characters, it was nice to see them get their due, especially now that the series is ending. And for the writing, for the most part, to be pretty good. And the structure, the episode structure, everything about it worked. So I'm going to give this, because it is, just functionally a really good, well put together piece of TV. I'll give it, let's say 4 unexpectedly gushy fertility ceremonies out of 5.
Okay, 4. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Do you appreciate the characters more? I think that's one thing you had a
I think I
problem with
do. I
was
think I
we
do.
never did
Yeah.
get to know them really, but now more.
Yeah, I think I do a little bit. Yeah, I could
Okay.
see spending more seasons with these characters.
Especially Carol.
How about yourself?
I enjoyed it. It was a little overwhelming at first because it was such a fast-paced episode, and I think me and Rennie both agreed that it was just like way too much all at once. But it was very funny, and it definitely, at least for me, helped with the rewatches because I kept finding more and more in it and appreciating more and more. And I think they did a really good job. I think it was a good concept. I'm glad we got it before the end of the series. Maybe that's something that it told me that maybe they knew it might be, but Mike McMahon said they didn't know it would be the end. But I really appreciated getting that because it gives me like a bigger concept of what we were following in a micro, circle.
Yeah.
It shows me a little bit more of the world that they inhabit. So I really
Yeah,
appreciated
that's
that.
cool. Yeah, very much.
So for that, I'm gonna also give it 4. 4 futuristic cave women who could read minds but was afraid of open flame blowing sousaphones.
Wow. Very elaborate. Very elaborate. Well, if you out there would like to tell us how you liked this episode of Lower Decks, you can reach us at. There are many ways that you can tell us. Many ways. I have Albie here. I'm just thinking to do that. That's an old Quantum Leap podcast gag.
QLP thing, check it out.
Many
I used to
ways.
always extend your many ways. You do it, and I would like make it like 10 seconds longer. Yeah.
But you can find us at Trexploration. It's patreon.com/Trexploration.
Yes, go there, give us money.
Yeah, go there, give us money. Also go there, join the community, and give us your address so that we can send you something for Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, we want to send
I
you
don't know.
stuff.
So patreon.com/Trexploration. You can Instagram us at TrexplorationPod. You can email us TrexplorationPod@gmail.com. You can find us on the TikToks and the Blue Skies. Just search for
Blue
Trexploration.
skies, smiling at
You
me.
can get us on the phone at 707-847-6682. You can P.O. Box us, P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705, just like Susie Q/Stacy/TV Time Podcast. I know I say it wrong, Stacy. I
The
always do.
TV Time Deep Dive, Al's Place podcast, and friends. Podcast and friends. I love their theme song.
And I think you can also support us on Buy Us a Coffee. Buyuscoffee.com/
BuyUsAnEnergyDrink.com. We should buy that. Oh, crap. I said it out loud. It's already
Shit.
bought.
We can edit it out. Up next, what's coming up next
Live.
on
What's coming up live? I think we're gonna both go watch. Is it Quantum Fissure? What is the name?
Fisher Quest, season
Fisher
5,
Quest,
episode 9 of Lower Decks.
Like Vision Quest, the
Yes.
Cyndi Lauper, Jeff Goldblum movie.
Exactamundo Fund. So we're going to go watch that.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it later tonight.
I can't wait. The thumbnail looks interesting. I think it says they have to close the fissure before something happens.
I wonder what it's all about.
I have no idea.
Anyway,
sorry, I was reading the comments.
yeah, I know. We get distracted. We're still it's a work in progress. We're teaching ourselves how to do this.
Yeah, we're figuring it out as we go. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this morning edition of Trexploration with Christopher DeFilippis and Albert Purge.
Dun, 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 dun.
For Trexploration, I'm Albie.
And I'm Bob Edwards.
And we'll see you next time.
That was an NPR reference.
Love NPR. It's been a while. Are they on the satellite? I don't know if I have terrestrial.
They have different NPR sort of programming on satellite, but to get the actual NPR station, you have to listen to it like on the For Reals radio.
Oh, okay. I think I have an NPR channel.
Yeah, you have an NPR channel, but yeah. But
yeah, right now mine's stuck on Christmas music on purpose. So there's 2 Christmas
holiday
channels.
traditions, or
They have
still
holiday
did you do
traditions.
your
They have channel 17 now. Is I think Jimmy Fallon has like a modern poppy Christmas thing going on.
a modern poppy Christmas? Oh, Linda can't join us there. Sorry, Linda. Bye.
Oh, so maybe we shouldn't do it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean,
We'll wait for Linda.
what do we do if we're not doing it for Linda?
Yeah, that's why we're doing this.
Right. So. We'll miss you, Linda.
Oh, we
But
gotta hold up
we know you're going to be drunk on bed Star Trek wine, so we get it.
Yeah,
We
I don't blame
understand.
you. I don't blame you.
It's
We
5 o'clock
pick up.
somewhere, and that somewhere is California.
Well, West Coast. She didn't say California. It might be. It might be Washington. It
I
might
assumed
be,
California. I
Might
just
be
want to give her the
Cabo,
benefit
or
of
is
the
that on
doubt.
the? I don't know.
West Coast,
We
it
don't
could
know.
be.
Could be on the west coast of Australia.
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
Willard hopes
So,
to be there. That's great. Can't wait.
we love
All
it.
right, loving it. All
And
right,
da-da-da-da-da.
I think it's time for us to go make dinner and me to go to the post office.
All right, brother.
That sound great?
Sounds like
All
a
right.
plan. I'll see you in a few hours.
So for the live audience, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
everyone
guys.
for
It's
putting
such
up
a
with our
thrill to have a
early
Saturday
morning show.
afternoon. Yeah, Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon crew.
Chris came up with the idea, and I think it was a good one. So I really
Good posse.
appreciate
Good
that,
posse.
Chris. All right, send me those addresses you have, Chris.
Will do. I have two. So
Okay, and a
I'll
little
see-
secret: if you're a paid member of the Patreon, you might get something special. So
yeah,
now's the
just-
time.
we need them addresses, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Okay,
Latest
bye.
Bye.
All right, now it goes for about another 30 seconds after, so they're still seeing us. Ooh.